good things happening for the New York Jets for the most part. We'll pause on the philosophical conversation for now. Just work with me on this. But the Jets are now 5-2. The New York teams, and I know Bills fans get upset when I lump the Giants and Jets. Oh, they're not.
They do.
They're not
New York.
They're not. They're not.
Yes, they're not in New York at all. They play in New Jersey. That's the Meadowlands. There's only one real New York team.
Yeah. They don't like that.
My best friends does. Yeah.
Despite the fact that they are called the New York Jets and the New York Giants, and the stadium isn't that far away. It just so happens to be located on the other side of the border. It's still New York. The Jets are 5-2. They beat the Broncos. I was stunned last week that the Jets were 1-point underdogs, even before we knew it was going to be Brett Rippon at quarterback instead of Russell Wilson. It's like, why are the Jets 1-point underdogs in this game? What am I missing here? Same thing with the you got both New York teams riding high on the road against 2-4 teams, and they were both underdogs. The Giants were 3 points, and the Jets were 1 point. I assume the line moved once it went from Russell Wilson to Brett Rippon. But the Jets get it done. 16-9 is the victory. Their first 4-game winning streak since 2015. Wow. Breece Hall, though, here's the bad news. They fear that he's out for the season with a torn ACL. You pick up the pieces and you keep going. But he was becoming a tremendous asset for that offense. He was having a huge impact on what they were doing. And this is just another example of what happens when you're a running back. Rashad Penny talked about this 4 days before he broke his leg. You are constantly running into contact with large, strong, fast men. You are going to get injured. You're going to get injured. It's just going to happen in football as a running back, and it's unfortunate that it happened to Breece Hall.
Yeah, it really is. And, when you got a young kid and he's playing the way that he was playing and really helping pilot that offense, it just really is a shame because now, despite how good that scheme is, you still are not playing the same caliber of player as you were before. And, when you're watching a guy emerge and you're seeing a team get some success that hasn't had a lot of success in the last few years, and it's in large part because of that one player, man, the whole situation really stinks. It's just one of the unfortunate realities of football.
And one of the unfortunate realities for the Broncos, they weren't able to go forward with Russell Wilson. He rarely misses games. He's got the grade 2 hamstring strain, partial tear. I think some people in his camp making sure everybody knows. I've been meaning to write something about this because the whole conversation about the Russell Wilson injury violates one of the basic Bill Parcells viewpoints on football. You never talk about injuries because it's either an excuse for poor performance or you look like a hero if you perform well. Either way, it separates individual from team. And there's already enough separation of Russell Wilson from team as it stands. This will only make it worse. And now you've got these questions with the Broncos about will they trade off Bradley Chubb or other players available. They traded away Von Miller last year and they were 4-4. Well, they're 2-5 right now. And hey, I think that the folks in England may be trying to send this next game back for a refund or something. 2-5 Broncos, 2-5 Jaguars, but it will be dripping with some storylines here. One of them is Nathaniel Hackett going to survive if they lose that game? He was a little testy yesterday. So, the Broncos, whether it's Rippon or whether it's Wilson, they're just not getting it done offensively, and they have embarrassed new ownership at a 2-5 record, Myles. For as good as the Jets are feeling, the exact opposite is where the Broncos are.
Yeah, it's never good when you're going to go overseas and you don't know who your quarterback is going to be on that Monday. The Giants were able to overcome it a few weeks ago, but, I'm not really as confident in Nathaniel Hackett and his ability to make sure that thing is going to stay okay as I am in Brian Daboll and his ability to make sure make sure that thing is going to stay okay. So, yeah, when the whole thing about Russell Wilson came out about him not playing on Sunday, my thought was, well, why is this leaking? Why are they announcing this? And I think it goes to what you're saying about injuries and separating yourself from the team, making yourself either look like a hero later or whatever. You're providing an excuse. Good teams that know how to do different things we would not have learned that Russell Wilson was not going to start until Sunday, because they keep those things in house. That's something that you need to keep in house. They're not traveling, right? When you travel, then that's when you need to make the announcement that some guy has been downgraded from questionable to out. Why are we making this publicly available knowledge that Russell Wilson got downgraded from questionable to out because we have a walkthrough on Saturday and that's when we find that out? That's something you need to keep in house. And I'm in the information sharing business, so it's better for us when something like that happens and we learn it earlier, but it does not benefit the team in any way to let the Jets know that Russell Wilson is not starting. So that's one of those things where I'm looking at that and I'm saying there's a little bit of dysfunction there, just from an internal standpoint of how is information about our players getting out such that we then make the announcement as the Denver Broncos, because it leaks, that Russell Wilson's been downgraded from questionable to out. That's not a good look.
I remember they were trying to set it up as a game day thing. It's a game day decision, game time decision. They were going to try to keep it under wraps, but at some point they decided, well, we better just give Brett Rippon the reps at the walkthrough practice, and we know it's going to get out if we do that. But you're right, it speaks to a level of dysfunction. And we mentioned, I know we got to take a break, but you mentioned Brian Daboll and how he's getting it done and how they were able to weather the storm of who the quarterback is going to be. They went to London and they shoved the effing cheese up the Packers' butt. But we find out when a coordinator becomes a coach, that is the most dramatic transition that an NFL coach can make, from assistant to the guy in charge. Some guys step up, some guys don't. Daboll is, and Hackett, I'm sorry, through 7 games, it's too early to make broad observations. Well, I can make this observation. Hackett's over his skis, and he is. Will he get better? I don't know. But at some point, you are who you are. And if you're ever going to get better, it would have happened at some point in this grind of game, week. Are you going to figure it out? Are you going to learn on the fly here? Do you even have the capacity to understand what you're doing wrong and how you need to do it better? Remember, they went and hired him a coach to help the coach after a couple of games. What's that done for them? They're 2-5.
And then he said that we got the go-ahead to go for it on 4th down. Like, what do you mean you got the go-ahead? You are the go-ahead. You are the head coach. What are you talking about? That was wild. It reminds me of Freddie Kitchens with the Browns in 2019.
I'm telling you, what I would do if I were the Walmart multi-billionaires that bought that team and have made enough money in the time we've been talking about this to finance the buyout for Nathaniel Hackett. Oh, wait, now they can finance it again. Wait, they can finance it a third time. Wait, there's even more money coming in. Yeah, so I would fire Nathaniel Hackett if they lose on Sunday, or maybe if they win, and let E.J. Evero show me what you can do. Here you go. Let's see. Let's make it defense. Let's be like the Seahawks were when they had Russell Wilson. He was playing at a high level. We're going to run through the defense here. We got a great defense. The defense is going to carry the day. The offense is going to supplement the defense. We're still going to focus on both halves. We're not going to make it all offense, especially if the offense isn't good enough. Let's see what Evero can do. He's going to go somewhere else and be someone's head coach. Maybe he could be ours. Maybe we can get the benefit of it. Maybe we can see what he can do and make a decision about whether or not he can step up. They're just finding out that Hackett can't. Let's let Evero try, because maybe he's going to be the guy who's the far better coach between the two. Maybe we hired the wrong guy to be the head coach. That's what I would do. Sorry, Nathaniel Hackett. It's tough business. It's the way it works. I'd say 8 games is enough to come to the conclusion that he just doesn't have it. Let's go ahead and take a break. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.